Hello and welcome to Dharma Talk Tuesday this week. We are full on in tax season. So the reason I bring this up is because I know I was feeling it today. And if I'm feeling it, then you're probably feeling it. And so I thought it'd be really helpful and worth it to talk to you about that today. Yeah? So as you are joining, as you are saying hi, throw me down a hashtag replay if you're watching the replay. If you're live, hashtag live. So good to see you here as always. If you are new to me, I'm Julie Surratt and I'm the Dharma Queen and I create other Dharma Queens. And that's what I'm committed to. And what does it mean to be a Dharma Queen? It means that you are a master manifester. You create your world, your reality with full intention, the way that you want it to be, and that you experience the prosperity, you're in the flow, you're fully aligned with your inner calling. And I honestly don't know a better feeling in the world. Whatever your inner calling is, and we all have different inner callings. We all have a different reason why we were put on this earth, and it's your job, it's your duty, which is the literal translation of the word dharma, to find what that is and pursue it relentlessly. So today we're talking about taxes. The reason why I think I popped out for a second. Why is it doing this? I might need to relocate. Give me some hearts and likes if you see me live right now. I think my internet connection's being a little funny. Okay, so the reason we're talking about this today is because I sat down this morning to do my regular daily emotional cultivation meditation, which basically means, oh good, I'm seeing the hearts and likes, which basically means that I sit down and I cultivate the emotions of how I do want to feel. And that's distinct from what most people do, which is they kind of go on default throughout their day of responding to reactions and feelings of what their environment brings to them. So like your emotions are your secret key. That's the language that you're speaking with the universe. So if your emotions are not what you want to be feeling, you are telling the universe something different than what you want to be feeling. So it's so imperative that you're feeling the emotions of what you do want to feel. So I do that intentionally every morning. It's what I teach my clients. It's called emotional cultivation. And this morning I found it really difficult to tap into the emotions of what I did want to feel. The light is crazy right now, is it not? I'm trying to move so that it's less crazy. So I was tapping in, I was really, and now I'm losing internet connection. So I was committed to finding the emotions of what I wanted to feel, but it was extra challenging this morning. And what I realized as I was in my practice of emotional cultivation was that I was actually accessing the collective consciousness. And I was like, duh, of course, the collective consciousness is in freak out insanity mode right now, frantically trying to get their taxes together. So I want to share this with you because this has to do with your manifesting right now. And whether you realize it or not, or you're being intentional or not, you are tapped into the collective consciousness. You are accessing what the collective is feeling. And I'm going to talk about this more in a moment. And the reason why this has to do with your manifesting a tax refund is that when you're vibing at a higher vibration, you're able to actually manifest more money. So think of it like this. Higher vibration equals better money manifesting. Lower vibration equals worse money manifesting. The collective consciousness tends to vibrate very low. Look at the world around us. So I'm going to go into more details on this and like what I'm even talking about, but I want to give you the backbone of what I'm explaining today and what we're talking about today, because it's so important for you to understand for your own manifesting, whether it's for a tax refund, debt forgiveness, a client manifestation, or whatever you are up to manifesting right now. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is what I mean when I say the collective consciousness. Some of you hear that and you're like, oh yeah, I totally get it. And some of you hear that and you're like, I'm not totally sure what she means. Okay, so I want to share with you what I mean by that. A study was done in the world of quantum physics where a machine which outputs, I don't want to go into the details of the machine, but basically the machine creates fluctuations and measurements based on what it's picking up. It's highly sensitive. and it basically, studies were done, and you can look it up yourself, but basically this machine picks up fluctuations in collective energy. Okay, so the guy who invented this machine was testing it in all different kinds of ways, with one-on-one people, with pairs of people, all kinds of tests. And then he realized that there's this phenomenon that would happen in like a group of people. And so he started doing tests with groups of people. For example, he did a test with one of the Academy Award shows. And so he ran the machine during one of the award shows and made a note in his notebook on when the peak viewing moments were. So like best actress, best actor, best picture. And he wrote down what time those moments were, and then went and looked at the machine and saw that there was a fluctuation that corresponded with those times. He did the same thing with the Super Bowl. He did the same thing with, at the time, the O.J. Simpson trial. And when the whole nation was tuned in to the O.J. Simpson trial and the verdict and that sort of thing. In fact, he also did tests not just with like televised shows, but also in locations. So he did the test in like sacred sites. So locations that were said to have like a special energy about them. And he found that sure enough, the machine measured that it picked up on some measurements in that site. So the collective consciousness is a thing. And so when we are feeling off, sometimes we don't realize it, but we're feeling off because there's something happening in the collective that's affecting us, especially those of us that are really sensitive. And so when we feel off, sometimes we need to ask ourselves, is this really me? Or is there something happening in the collective that I need to pay attention to and like create a protective energy around myself from, and also like maybe even get more intentional and committed and powerful in my manifesting, so that this thing in the collective doesn't bring me down and affect my manifesting. So that's exactly what happened to me this morning. Was I was in my meditation, in my emotional cultivation, and I found it very difficult to stay focused on, much more difficult than normal. Like normally it's very easy for me to like go in and go high vibe and leave like literally seeing the world in Technicolor. I know that sounds crazy, but I've been doing it for a long time. So normally it's not that hard. And today I found it very challenging, and I was like, what is going on? And then I did my journaling and I was like, oh, duh, it's tax season and people are frantic, people are anxious. I could also feel like little bits of excitement of people who are confident and clear they're getting an awesome refund back. So I felt like a mix of things, but overall the consciousness, the collective I was experiencing and feeling was just like an intense field of anxiety and pressure and franticness. So if you're sensitive, or if you're at all tapped in and tuned in, you may also be connected to this and experiencing it and feeling it. And that's not going to support your money manifesting. So what I want to like alert you to and bring to your attention is for you to just have that reminder and ask yourself in any given moment throughout the day, like this maybe need like create a reminder around this in your phone or in your bullet journal. I've got my bullet journal here. So however you track things, maybe create an alert in your phone. Ask yourself, how am I feeling? And is it my energy, or am I tapped into the collective? Or maybe there's someone close to you whose energy you're picking up on. My point is that we often need the reminder of that awareness of being very connected to others' energy that has nothing to do with us. So not only, this is what's so great, this is what's so cool, not only do we shift ourselves when we shift, like not only do we shift our money manifesting and our everything manifesting, but you actually also contribute to the collective. So one of the trainers I work with in leadership, she actually shared with us, and this is all in the Power versus Force, David Hawkins book, if you're curious about this kind of thing. When you shift into responsibility, which basically means shifting into, okay, I'm at cause, I'm the source, I need to like really look within at how I'm causing and creating my situation. When you make that shift consciously, you are off-putting the low vibrations, like you're offsetting low vibration, shame, guilt, fear of 935 people just by shifting into responsibility. So in other words, it's not just you who is benefiting from your shift, it's 935 people in that case. Okay, so every time you shift into love, every time you shift into peace, every time you shift into joy, you are offsetting up to, hundreds and thousands of people who are in a fear space in the world, in the universe. So like that really adds another layer of motivation. At least for me, it's like, oh, if I feel bad, I need to shift. If not for me, then for the 935 people that I'm offsetting energetically in the collective. The reason why most of the time the collective is in a lower vibration is because that's just where the global consciousness is at right now, unfortunately. So the more of us who are like light bringers, basically light beings and committed to shifting, the more of us are offsetting, and there's going to be a critical threshold, like a critical mass, where more and more people become the light, which, by the way, I could go on a whole tangent about that, and there was another study that was done about how our health is a direct, there was actually a study done showing that we emanate light, we actually emanate light, and our light emanation is what indicates how healthy we are. So you are actually emanating light, like actual light, measurable light when you shift. You're being the light. And so you're sourcing that for the world. And if enough people do that, it creates a shift in the collective where instead of feeling pulled down by the collective, you get to be pulled up by the collective. Isn't that like an amazing vision for the world? Like that's my vision for the world, you know what I mean? But it starts with one person at a time. You know, when you're feeling bad, you basically have an imperative to shift, if not for you, then for everyone. Okay, so let's bring it back to what I was just saying. When you shift into a higher vibration, you are connecting to a higher chance, or like, yeah, a higher chance, a higher probability, a higher vibration, at which point you're connected to a higher energy set point, which symptomatically looks like money manifesting. So at every vibratory level, there's a symptom. You know, at the lower vibratory levels, the symptom looks like scarcity, looks like survival. At the higher vibratory levels, it looks like abundance, it looks like flow, it looks like synchronicity, it looks like miracles. And so if you want miracles, if you want synchronicity, if you want flow, then you need to vibrate at higher levels, which doesn't start it doesn't start with like, when I have more money, I'll vibrate higher. When I have more time, like better timing, more space, I'll vibrate higher. When I have my man, I'll vibrate higher. Like it doesn't work like that. It has to start from within. And so like you need to vibrate higher and like feel better and like shift so in other words, let me put this another way for you. You feeling fear is not helping your situation. You feeling scarcity is not going to move the ball forward. And I know that sounds crazy because like in the normal world, when someone's in a dire situation and they are like looking peaceful, we accuse them of being delusional. Okay. And this is one of the reasons why one of the best ways to shift your energy set point is to assess who's in your corner. Because if you have a bunch of naysayers, as I call them, in your corner, it's going to be really hard to keep that shift. It's honestly one of the reasons I moved to San Diego from the Midwest. It's because it's a lot easier to be high vibe out here because more people get this kind of thing. For me. So when you want to create a shift, you don't shift your external circumstances, or you don't wait for your external circumstances to shift. You create the shift within first, and then that symptomatically will turn into your circumstances changing. Now, I want to be really clear. What I'm not saying to like sit around and just like meditate your way into results. What I'm saying is you take action, you take committed action, but you're not taking it out of fear and scarcity. You're shifting yourself on the inside first, and then you take committed action from that higher vibe place. It's a balance, okay? In Maya, Money Alignment Yoga Academy, I teach the 3 pillars of manifestation, which is avenues of abundance and committed action, and emotional cultivation, which is what I started this conversation about, and shifting and aligning your body energy. That's and the way I teach how to shift your vibration. So it's really the 3 things. Okay, so if you're wanting to manifest a huge tax refund, what you get to do is majorly shift your vibration up. That's an inside job. It starts from the inside out. A tax refund is what I call an avenue of abundance. So whenever the universe is providing to us, I call that an avenue of abundance. There are infinite avenues of abundance. There's client manifestations, there's product sales, there's debt forgiveness, there's free coffee, there's all kinds of avenues of abundance, and many more than that the universe can provide us. One of them that's timely for what's happening in the nation, in America right now, is tax refunds. So if you're wanting to access that particular avenue of abundance, then take a look at the 3 pillars of manifestation and at what I've shared so far. You need to shift your energy set point up, which is what I've talked about so far. Another way to shift your energy set point up is to feel better in your body, which is why I'm such an advocate for yoga. And also to take committed action, like doing your tax return. Because obviously if you don't do your tax return, you're not going to get your tax refund. Make sense? Okay, so I want to say hi to those that are hopping on and watching. Hi Zenfu, hi Tracy, hi Tyree, hi Catherine, hello Deb, Monty, Sandra, Angie, hello, AJ, Janine. Thank you all for joining us today. If you know anyone, if you're watching live, and if you know anyone who you think would really benefit from this conversation, hit the share button on this Dharma Talk Tuesday. Or you can also tag them in the comments. And you can tag, wait, what happened here? My internet, you can tag them in the comments, okay? So what's exciting about this is you can basically take what's happening in the world and you can latch on to the potential, the possibility that is exciting for you. So right now it's tax season. So you can take this and you can say, okay, I want a huge tax refund. So I can manifest that from an intentional place, which involves shifting my vibration, accessing and shifting, my place in the collective to create the potential that's actually realistically happening right now, and then creating the result. You know, as there's things that happen during the year, you can do this. Or even if it's throughout the year, this is just a reminder that at any point in your life, if you want like a big miracle, it's like, okay, what do I need to do? I need to shift. And if you find yourself feeling bad, if you find yourself feeling doubt, if you find yourself feeling fear, at that point, you just ask yourself, is this me or is this the collective? Is this me or is this the collective? And then you intentionally and consciously shift. The final thing I'll leave you with here before I hop off Dharma Talk Tuesday this week is different modalities and different belief systems have a different way of thinking about that fear energy. So in your manifestation process, you might find that you experience fear and doubt, and it's a normal part of the manifestation process. So, you know, in some belief systems, there's the devil where you like rebuke the devil. In some belief systems, it's like you feel the drift, which is the, I'll call it like the negativity of the collective consciousness, the low vibe. And so then you pull yourself up and out of that, right? So there's a lot of different ways to consciously allow yourself to shift, and different people have different tools. So what you need to do at that point is remind yourself of the tools that you know to use, that you believe in, to create that shift. And at the end of the day, it's all about awareness and creating mechanisms and support, whether it's through people or through systems and friend groups, or a mentor, or a reminder in your phone, or reading the Bible or reading scripture, or whatever it is that helps remind you to have that awareness, to create that intentional shift. Okay, so that process happens from the inside out, based on your belief system, based on what you believe to be true, because your belief is what's going to create the transformation the most, more than anything else. And that's it for this week's Dharma Talk Tuesday. I'm sending you blessings today. Happy manifesting. And as you create incredible manifestations in your tax refunds and other things, make sure to come back and post and comment on this thread so that you can be a testimony and bolster the belief of other people who use this content and inspiration to up-level their manifesting. Sending you so much love, and I'll see you next week on Dharma Talk Tuesday. Bye.